Hey, you there. Thank you for watching. And welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the Northwest and ending with Team 2 in the Southeast. Starting off with Team 1, Southern player, we have in Pac-Man Yellow, it is Furfur. He is a Seraphim. He is a 1600. To his northeast, we have in Rust, it is Lord Fowl 13 or the 13th. He is a UEF. He is a 1300. To his northwest, we have in Imperial Gray, it is Yoji playing as a Cybern. He is a 2000 rated player. He is the highest rated player on his team, and he is tied for the highest rated player in the game. To his northeast, we have in Glow in the Dark Green, it is Narwhal, or Narwhal for short. He is a Seraphim as a 1200. And to his east, in the best color and faction combination in all of Supreme Commanderdom, no bias here, it is Forest Green, UVA player of Seal Force. He is a 1600. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 UEF, 2 Seraphim, 1 Cybern. Team 1 lacks the Aeon faction. Starting off with Team 2 in the northeastern corner, we have in Batman Gray, it is Wacko Contact, or Wacko for short. He is a Seraphim. He is a 1500. To his southwest, we have colloquially Klaus, or Klaus for short. He is in Snow White as a 1300 Cybern. In Light of Tan, to his southeast is Furio. He is a Seraphim. He is a 2000 rated player. He is the highest rated player on his team of Team 2, and tied with Team 1's Yoji for the highest rated player overall. To his south, that's kind of southwest, or west by southwest, it is Kaiser Wilhelm, the first of his name. He is a UEF. He is a 1400 in Chevy Crimson. And to his west, in orange color orange, it is the Cybern of Orem de Ritter, or Ritter for short. He is a 1600 as a Cybern. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 2 Cyberns, 2 Seraphim, 1 UEF. The difference between Team 1 and Team 2 is Team 1 has 2 UEF and 1 Cybern. Team 2 has 2 Cyberns and 1 UEF, which means for the entire match, there are no Aeon players. Apologies to those Lords of the Princess. Hopefully you enjoyed the game nonetheless. And for these 10 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim count. Currently sitting at 50,000 mass in reclaim, which makes it very easy in my brain to do the math. It is 5,000 mass per player. And the map does not only not skimp out on the reclaim, it does not skimp out on the mexes. Taking a look at Team 2 side of the map, we have 1, 2 Trimex positions in the northeast. We have 1 quad and then a Trimex in the middle, and then 2 quad mexes in the southwest, with some one-offs kind of dotted in the southeastern corner that will most likely go to the air player of Furio, if he decides to be the air player or not. There are a couple of twin mexes in the middle. I would assume these will go for Team 2, these will go for Team 1, and that'll kind of be the end of that story. And there are a couple of one-offs in the northeast and, of course, the southwest as that mirror. But there are multiple expansion places for everybody to get a piece up. So there's going to be a mad dash to the middle. We already see Team 1 sending a couple of labs inbound to try to delay that process for Team 2. And they'll do a decent job going after a couple of engineers and a couple of T1 early mexes. But again, it is not supposed to stop, only delay. And being an annoyance is a very, very good thing in this game, because the more you can annoy, as I say, poke the bear, the more the bear might lash out at you, not really logically or strategically, and it might end up killing the bear. So things to think about. Taking a look at where our players are headed off to in this game, we have 2 players in the west for Team 2. That is Kaiser and Ritter. We do have Team 1's Furfur, and maybe Lord Fowl will head that direction, but at least 1 on that western side in favor of Team 2 if Fowl doesn't join his teammate over there. We do have Team 2's Klaus over here in the middle, and in the east, T2 upgrade already started on board Wacko's Comm, bending off a couple of Team 1 strikers from, who's that? That is Seal Force, and it looks like it's going to be maybe 2v1 if Narwhal heads east. Looks like he's kind of headed in that direction, but not necessarily just as of yet. So at least as of yet, it's just 1v1 with Yoji maybe making his way to the front line, or at least, no, yeah, he's going to make his way there. So it might be a 2v1, sorry, 2v2, or even a 3v2 on that western side. We do see that Team 2's Furio is moving to the middle of the map to assist the front line of Klaus in that little bit of raiding going on from Team 1, essentially saying, no, go away. We don't want your business here. Stop soliciting. Go home. Go home. T2 upgrade continuing to progress here on the eastern side for Wackle. We do see a couple of labs do make it to the secondary line here, that being Kaiser Wilhelm's base. Those units are dealt with pretty quickly. Gun upgrade has been started for Furfur on the western side. So he is a Seraphim Com going for that upgrade. Again, he's facing off against a Cybran and a UEF. So hit point advantage in favor of the Cybran player, not really in favor of the UEF. We're talking about 500 hit points, so really it's nothing to write home about. But again, 100 hit points, 50 hit points, 1 hit point can make the difference between surviving a calm suicide murder spree or not. So that is something to consider. Gun damage range in the northeast for CO Force going down. Again, he's not as supported in that situation as Wackle is on the eastern side, but he's going for a facility T2P gen on the front lines. So he's more concerned about getting his eco up and running. Team 1 is more concerned about getting a little bit more territory under their belts so they can expand eco that way. Again, there is 2 strategies: upgrade what you got or expand or die. That's kind of the, I mean, you could do both, but usually it's go as far as you can and then upgrade back to front, because eventually those front mexes will die, and it's not worth upgrading, these 2 mexes, as an example, the T2, when you know they're going to get stomped at some point pretty early. So it's more worth it to put the more safer bet in the back line. Gun damage remains started for Lord Fowl in the middle, and no upgrades have been started for Team 2 on the middle or the southwestern side as yet. But Team 2's DeRitter has gained a decent chunk of territory, very similar to what Seal Force is doing in that eastern corner, essentially taking pretty much, like I said, the entire eastern corner, northeastern corner, excuse me. I know my directions, and saying, yep, this is mine now, see you, bye. This Trimax I did say was Team 2's. Don't think it's going to be Team 2's. I think it's going to be Team 1's. Same situation over the western side for Team 1. That's going to be Team 2's mix. It's kind of the way it's trending. Will it stay that way? But it is trending that way nonetheless. No other upgrades for anybody else, especially on Team 2. We've only seen 1 upgrade, which is very weird. We're approaching almost the 10-minute mark, and no one's really gone for upgrades. Looks like it's more focused on maybe mechs expansions and upgrades, as well as, of course, going for T2, then soon to T3 air facility for Furio. Same situation for, actually, no, Team 1's Yoji is behind in the air race. That will give an advantage to Team 2 in that regard. Speaking of engagement, we do see Klaus fending off a nice little group of Team 1 spam from both Narwhal and Lord Fowl. He's being pushed back a little bit. He should be fine. No issues there in terms of his comm health. He will lose a couple of mexes. Nothing too mission critical. Again, they are the expansion points, so they're expected to die, be rebuilt, die, rebuild all the time, but doing it is annoying nonetheless. We do see 2 fronts engaging, one at the eastern side of the map between Seal Force and Wackle. Wackle getting some T2 PD, while Seal Force is using his comm to blap away those Team 1 tanks. Western side, Team 2's forces of both Kaiser and DeRitter pushing in onto both Yoji and... who is that? That is Furfur's position. Furfur has gun on board, almost at 1-star vet, and Yoji, no veterancy yet. In terms of stars, we do see Whack on the eastern side being surrounded by Seal Forces, and I think this will be the first kill here in the game. We do see the forces from Team 2 do get shooed back, or at least they've been called home. Wacko drops below 25%, but it doesn't look like Seal Force continues to engage. There are some forces nearby from Colloquial Klaus. I think, again, I cannot say that name correctly. A lot of these German names I can't say correctly half the time, but again, I apologize. That's what we'll call him, Klaus for short. It has been a while since I've casted a lot of these players, at least on Team 2, so be patient with me in that regard. But anyway, Seal Force falls back, and Wacko will be fine. But again, it is going to be a little bit dangerous in the front lines, at least for him. He does have some Ilshis. that will protect him quite significantly for a little bit of time until the game shifts into the T3 side of things. But for now, he should be fine. We'll see if that ends up being the case. Of course, no caster curse here, I promise. If I talk about something, hopefully it doesn't end up biting somebody in the back or butt, technically. We do see gun started here for Ritter on the western side, almost done with that. Middle, we do see the forces from Kaiser moving into assist. And with defense of Furiel's Calm Gun started for Kaiser as well. We're going for that upgrade here sooner rather than later. Gun done. Going for stealth for De Ritter on the western side. He has cyber and he has to build that to go for his nano upgrade. But it is nice to be a little bit cheeky and hide off radar until the Omni and Vision comes into range. Then it's not going to work anymore. Even with cloaking, it doesn't work against Omni. It's, kind of need Omni online 24/7 for everybody. Anyway, T2 started here for Lord, going to secure the middle at least a little bit better. And another attack inbound from Narwhal trying to really push back Klaus in the middle of the map here. Narwhal really wants that hill section, and I think he's going to get it. He will grab that Trimex position, and that will be his. That'll be a second set of mexes that Team 1 will deny Team 2, the one up here from CO Force and the one in the middle. We do see another mech expansionary point that is going to be denied by Team 1. The only one that Team 2 is denying is this one right here. So in terms of numbers, Team 1 is in the lead in terms of either denying or claiming mexes. So Team 1 doing pretty good on that. We do see, again, the eco is about the same. It's the difference between upgrading what you have and expand or die. So it's starting to be about the same. But as Team 1 goes back and upgrades all those mexes, that trend line will start to accelerate upward for Team 1. Because Team 2 is going to run out of mexes to upgrade. So either they have to go RASCOMs or mass FAF farms, that sort of thing. The more fabricated mass versus the more, I don't say authentic mass, but the organic mass. I don't know. Anyway, nano repair on the western side here for Team 1's Furfur. Shield started for Kaiser in the west there. We do see nano repair started for Wackel on that eastern side. He does have gun now on board. Gunships being protected by some ASFs from Team 2's air player of Furiel. There are some counter ASFs online for Yoji. Those will engage. Team 2 will have the numbers. Of course, early minutes. Nothing really crazy. If you have, 6 to a dozen, it's more. It's not a big thing. It will make the difference, of course, when we get to 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 35 minutes. Those numbers start to be heavily important. We do see T3 gunship online though for Yoji. So that is something that he can deploy in defense of his teammate over here from Lord. But it looks like he's going for T2 PD. Has a nice little wall section to curtail a little bit of the pathfinding for Team 2. So they'll have to knock out some of those wall sections, or they're just going to have to go around. Those are the two options. Or just completely ignore this and go west. You could also do that. But we do see Team 1's Furfur with those Ilshis running around is starting to push back a little bit on that western front against Ritter. We do see Team 2's Klaus getting pretty close to that other mech expansion that he really wants back. But Narwhal has a lot of spam. He has to be very careful. He sits there for too long. That is a dead calm. He is going for T2 PD, which against T1 zooing like this that are in these numbers, good luck getting those PD online. Because no, we do see a nice little pincer maneuver starting to happen here against Narwhal. But again, with that gun cub online, with some T2 PD coming online for himself as well, not going to really matter that much. Unfortunately, the move is just going to get broken because it just didn't work. But again, nice attempt at the minimum, but it just didn't end up working. And Team 1 will secure their hold on that upper hill. It's not really a plateau because plateaus are completely isolated, but it's a little bit of height advantage. Never hurt anybody, I promise. Unless you already had a robotic arm and now you have the 4 robotic appendages. The comments, let me know. Everybody probably knows what I'm talking about at that point when I make that kind of comment. But anyway, Furfur dropping hit points very quickly. Will get underneath shield coverage. Weirdo trying to kill off the combo Furfur. Furfur does get a rank in veterancy. Will survive for a little bit longer at least. Gets back up into the yellow. Does have Nano on board. And Ritter has have Nano on board as well. I think we're seeing the death of the first player in the game. I think everybody else is fine for now. So Furfur is being depleted in hit points very quickly. He needs a rank in veterancy to survive this. And there's really not a lot of units with high max count or mass count, but there he goes. First kill of the game goes to Team 2. Drops this game to a 5v4 in their favor at 17 minutes. Almost just 3 more minutes, and everybody would have made it past 20 minutes. Almost. But that's okay. Can't always have your cake and eat it too. Maybe you can't even have your cake or eat it. You can't have either in this world. Anyway, Team 1, again, will be down a player, but that does give the highest rated player on Team 1 a double base, and it gives, on top of that, he's also the air player, so he can expand his air very nicely. If Team 2 continues the march, they might be able to nip at Yoji's heels a little bit, but he's going to be able to defend that position, especially with T3 land already online. And the air is being expanded upon as we speak for him. Air, of course, it is expanding as well, but I think Team 1 is accelerating more than Team 2 is in that regard. In the eastern side, nothing really too crazy has happened. A couple of PD, a couple of Team D, but again, I think the trend line is definitely favoring Team 1. There has been some mech kills from Team 2 against Team 1, but again, that will be recovered here shortly. Team 1 and Team 2, again, roughly at the same amount of eco. Nothing too crazy leading one way or the other. Now, while pushing in lots of T2 spam, Cerberus online. Again, they're very good at dealing with Team 1 and very weak T2 units. But anything more than that, and it's just tickling them at that point. So I feel like it's kind of like a Scathus. The earlier you deploy them, the better. Because usually later on, they're not as good. You need a lot of them to really make a difference. Scathus and Cerberus kind of fall along that. It's okay. Scathus not as many because they're very expensive and whatnot, but you get the point. Stealth started on the western side here for Yoji. He'll probably go for Nano after that because why not? T3 gunship in the air just to, again, nip at Der Ritter's forces. Going after looks like the Loyalist. Very good unit. They can redirect missiles. Very useful. Especially they can redirect Billy Nukes. Those are always fun. Eastern side, Wackel trying to push back this force from CO Force, which will probably do actually a good job of doing that. There's not that much here. There are a couple of Percys. He does have Nano and T2 and guns, so he should be fine. He'll probably take some hits, maybe drop into the yellow, but nothing in the red or dead kind of variety. We do see, again, Narwhal continuing to make solid progress against this middle player of Klaus. He's really being pushed back. I would not be surprised to see Wackel kind of shift a little bit more focus. Maybe have Wackel post up maybe right about here maybe and try to focus the fire from both his opponent of CO Force and nearby opponent of Narwhal at that little point. That could be a benefit and a curse doing that, but it would at least help cover Klaus a little bit. So we'll see what ends up happening on the eastern side. I do feel like that is an avenue for Team 1 to exploit. Team 2, the avenue, of course, is the western side with the dead player already on that side of the map being Furfur. Nano Repair is almost done here for Yoji. Yep, he went for it. I highly doubt he's going to go for cloaking, especially this early. You don't really use cloaking offensively just because it's easily countered. Very easily. So we'll see if he sits there. Tactical missile started for Team 2's rigorous player of Furio. He has a Seraphim. He cannot go for Billy Nuke, but missile launcher nonetheless. I do hear some zappers firing off against some sort of missile nonsense. So we do see some Vipers over here using actually the land, or at least trying to use the land to their advantage by hiding underneath the little cliff edge. But unfortunately, I don't think that was going to be super long-term effective just because the comm is right there. Advanced Nano started for Wackel on the eastern side. He'll probably sub out his T2 for maybe regen aura if he stays there long-term just to assist his forces staying alive, well, longer. But we'll see. Usually it's Nano, then regen, then advanced Nano, then advanced regen. Or sometimes players will do the other. They'll do advanced regen, and then advanced Nano. But Usually I've seen it with Nano as the first, and then it's the advanced set of that, after that. Nothing really too crazy. We do see all on the western side, at least. We do see that Seal Force has retreated back to base. T2 Air online here for him, so possible secondary air player for Team 1. Of course, T3 Air still going strong here for Yoji. Yoji sitting at 440 mass income, and Team 2's air player is at 330. So they are the mass leaders. I would not expect anything different from the rearguard assault players. And on top of that, the highest rated players on each team. Would not expect that. And I don't, it's not a surprise, I should say. Not expected. It's not a surprise. We do see advanced nanos over 50%, and a nano has been started here for Narwhal in the middle. Maybe he'll go for T2 engineering suite as well. Maybe he'll go for regen. We'll see. Again, both teams have 2 Seraphim players. One team on Team 1 has 2 UEF, 1 Cybran. Team 2 has 2 Cybrans and 1 UEF. So Team 1 has lost one of their Seraphim players. Narwhal is the last one. We do see Yoji, again, continuing to just poke and prod. He is getting veterancy for his comm, so he's being a little bit more, again, aggressive to get a little bit more defense later on. Because 10, 20, 30% additional hit points later on could be the difference between surviving a strap bomb or laser or artillery piece or whatever, or dying. Spider has been spotted here by Team 1. Yep, Ritter going for the cheapest experimental on land in the game. It is that Monkey Lord. Team 2 has, like again, I said, 2 Cybrans. So I expect at least some sort of land experimental from, I would expect maybe Klaus, but he looks like he's a little bit, he's not that far back on eco to be fair, but he is kind of bogged down in his territory. So he might try to get a Monkey Lord in and try to maybe kill off Narwhal, or even just push him back at a minimum, which would be as beneficial, if not more. Again, if you kill him, of course, but at least pushing him back would be better than nothing. As I say, something is better than nothing. Western side looks like forces starting to move. I'm assuming they're prepping for the Monkey Lord here shortly. Laser has been started for Yoji, going for it while he has it, so he has that as a backup plan. And for commenting about a dead mech up there to the northwestern corner. Looks like they just missed that mech, maybe? And it looks like Yoji is on his way to grab that mech nonetheless. Nice assist there from the only dead player in the game, still active, not quitting just yet, trying to help out his team as much as possible. Wacko having a disagreement with that mountain. Percy's having a disagreement with that little hill there. And Percy's missing tons and tons of shots. Not great here for Team 1's land armor. You can see there's just a little bit of an outcropping, but we do see those Percys are realigning their sights, moving a little bit more west, and able to hit nice little direct shots on their opponents. It will force Wacko back. There's no way he can engage that force of that magnitude. And he does have advanced nano, but he doesn't have any sort of regens in terms of aura, so he's not giving it to his units nearby, which means they're more squishy. They're just how it is. Again, against Percy's, it's not really going to matter, to be fair, unless you're talking about T3 units, but still. Less squishy is better than more squishy. Laser is almost done on the western side. Missile outbound from the middle of Team 2's Wilhelm's base. Actually, was that missiles or artillery? Maybe that's artillery. It looked like oh, no, it's a buzzkill, so it's probably, yeah, it looks like it's artillery. It looked like a missile, because again, yellow dots are yellow dots are yellow dots, so I don't know what they are until I zoom in on them, or at least what they were fired from. Laser done for Yoji, and I don't think he's going to go for teleporter right now. He's probably just going to keep it in his back pocket and kind of hang out. But maybe he'll go for cloaking for defensive operations, maybe? Just, I don't know. It's just not as effective right now as it could be later on. Because if he pushes in, yeah, he'll use it, but Team 2 will immediately know about it, and then they'll counter it very quickly, and then that'll be the end of that. Got to keep it a secret for as long as possible. The Monkey Lord, speaking of which, is still under wraps. I guess Team 1 knows about it, but they don't know where it is. They just know that it's built, or, it was being built. FAF Point has been started by They're here shortly. Maybe he's getting a nice little UEF engineer inbound to assist. He's getting some hives in preparation for it, so that's probably what he's doing. Eastern side conflict happens once again. Looks like the Percys have a target in mind, or at least some of them do. They're targeting the comm of Wacko. We do see some more Autumns inbound. Team 1 bombers and T2 gunships over the top here from Seal Force to assist with a little bit of, it's just taking out a couple of hit points. But Wacko's suffering a lot of deficit in hit points, and there he goes. Percy sniped by Team 1 CO Force, drops the game to now a tied 4v4 once again at 26 minutes. I think it's the perfect time to go for the halftime recap of what's going on in the game and whatnot. Team 1 and Team 2 both at 4 players left. They just lost Team 2. Wacko and Team 1 lost Furfur before 20 minutes. Team 2 and Team 1, an eco situation. It was 1.3 to 1.3 just briefly a moment ago, but it does look like Team 2 had probably some power issues with the transfer of bases. So 1.5 in favor of Team 2. So nothing too crazy, but that lead is a little bit concerning. We'll see what they end up doing with that little bit extra of eco. Actually, it's starting to show 1.6 as well. Team 1, again, 1.3. And map control, about 50-50. I'd say a tiny bit in favor of Team 1, but it's not the end of the world kind of percentage. It's more of, it's annoying for Team 2, but it's not the end of the world. Anyway, Western side, we do see that Monkey Lord. Definitely can take that in consideration as you're thinking about who's going to win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, because why not, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with anyone, everyone, and especially your pets. I haven't said that in a while. Your pets deserve quality content, especially your pets, because we love our pets. I love my pet. So why not? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And let's go check on what's going on the Western side. Cloaking is now done on Yoji's comm. Advanced Nano has been started for Narwhal in the middle. And where is that comm going? Oh, I wonder where it's going. Again, no land experimental in this game has Omni. So unless there's an Omni unit / radar station / no, it's just unit, or station. There's no way they can see the comm of Yoji. This is what Team 2 can see. They just see the laser if they're paying attention. It's actually kind of hidden a little bit in all that laser nonsense. We do see a counter laser online for Yoji in a Monkey Lord situation. So that'd be a nice little mass gift here for Team 1 Yoji, especially him being down a player and being the air player. Definitely would like that little bit more mass in his coffers. Looks like air, we're positioning for an engagement, but decided better of it. Go XP, says Fervor, talking to Narwhal. Looks like he's going for, like I said, advanced nano. But maybe he's going to make himself a experimental, because you can kind of do that with the Seraphim comm if you do advanced nano, and then you make it advanced region and all that. Bomber outbound from Team 2, dropping right on top of Narwhal's position. Doesn't take any damage himself, but a lot of those... Are those T3 parashields or those T2 shields? Those are the actual T2 shields. Do take a hit there. Bomber has dropped, and we know what it's going to go for. Going to go for that comm right there again. ASF coming up to back it up. ASF from Team 1 not in position. The Bomber will get a second pass in. T3 artillery is in position, but it looks like Narwhal might take some damage from this. Maybe not. Oh, he does take some damage. Needs to back up. If he wants to make it out of there, he has to actually cancel his advanced nano. Unfortunate. I think it was up to maybe 70% there. Very unfortunate. Western side, Percy's running amok in Lord Fowl's position, and the Monkey Lord on the western side giving a little bit of harassment to those bricks down there. Those are bricks down there for Ritter. Bomber going to land over here, going to drop on the frontline positions here for Seal Force. Nothing too crazy here, but, you know, Team 1 spam plus engineers, kind of nice to take out, because why not? We do see this has prompted the attack from Klaus to push in and try to retake this territory, or at a bare minimum weaken it, so that way the Bomber could come in for a third time and really just smash it out of the park, which I do think is happening. ASF are positioned to intercept it. The ASFs aren't moving in. The Bomber's not getting out of there by any means. Some of the ASF will die in that explosion. Oh, yeah, a couple of them die. And the Bomber knocked out very quickly, and the air fight will actually ensue. It looked like for a moment Yoji was going to try to escape that. Actually, never mind. He did escape that. Nice job there. He does not get the engagement. Didn't want it there. If he does want it, he's going to pull it back. He's probably actually down in the ASF count, but we'll see where that Bomber goes. I think it will actually be scooped up by Team 2, but we'll see. There's not engineers on the case yet, but it looks like they're going for land factory spam, so that way they can get the engineers outbound. Group of bricks still pushing, and they have driven Narwhal back. I feel like maybe he could take it, but with the advanced nano he would take it, but be a little bit cautious. There is a nice little Fat Boy online for Team 1 on that eastern side, and there should be one, yep, on the western side here for Ritter. He's going for a crab now. He's getting some drones and some hives. Lovely use of technology there, getting the more mobile engineers or the easier to move engineers and the stationary engineers to assist in one way or the other. Second Fat Boy online for Team 1. They have 2 of them so far, and it looks like Chicken online here now for Narwhal, so maybe he's going to use that to punch back into this position. I'm surprised that there's not that many engineers already on the case here for Furio over here. It looks like he's distracted doing other things, building a second bomber, and he has a Chicken online. Klaus builds an experimental of his own. It is a Fat Boy. Wow, looks like Team 2, with only one UEF player, is really just giving away the UEF tech, which again, is a really good strategy because it gets other players access to that tech without having to actually be that faction. You know, we have 2 players that are not UEF that are building the Fat Boys, while we have Wilhelm back in the southeastern corner just hanging out. Looks like he didn't want to stay on the front line. Don't blame him, especially with Fat Boy Fire. It's not fun. T2 artillery being built on the front line base just to ensure its survival long term. And a little bit of PD creep here from Klaus in the middle of the map. Fat Boy will secure this wreck. Unfortunately, there are some. We have some missile launchers. Is he going to missile launch the wreck? That could be an idea. Haven't seen that in a very, very long time. Second experimental on the western side. It is a chicken, so monkey and chicken on that western side for Yoji. And again, it's against a Fat Boy, so if he gets probably one more fast-moving experimental, either one of those, it might be worth it to go after that Fat Boy. There is a crab inbound, so actually maybe not, but the crab wasn't there. I would say definitely worth it. Fat Boy trying to push on the missile launcher position. Let's see. The shield will hold just barely. Oh, Fat Boy coming out of range. The missiles are down, unfortunately. It looks like it was just a little bit too close, maybe. And that is the end of that missile battery for Team 2. 32 minutes on the clock here. Team 1, 1.6K. Team 2, 1.8. The percentage lead for Team 2 is closing in terms of, the percentage, not in terms of what they're leading by. Because, again, being ahead 200 mass at 20 minutes is definitely different than being 200 mass ahead at 40, 50, 60, an hour and a half kind of thing. At that point, it's almost not even worth. I mean, it's worth mentioning, but not by much. Anyway, bomber landing on top of the Fat Boy. That's never good for the Fat Boy's health. Again, it does not increase shield capacity with its veterancy, only increases its hull plating hit points. So that would probably be a little bit more OP. Not more OP. It would be a little OP if the Fat Boy did increase its shielding that way. Same thing with the Tsar. Shielding does not increase for veterancy. It's probably smart. Anyway, Team 2 will absolutely annihilate Yoji's ASFs. Looks like Yoji kind of just stopped producing ASFs at some point. That is a clean sweep in that regard from Team 2's Fur, and that will put him firmly in control of the air, possibly air supremacy. Let's see how many ASFs he has. Oh, yeah, that's air supremacy for Team 2. Not air, or not we own air, we have air. That's 200 ASFs. So you got to really work for that we have air situation. But supremacy is definitely a good position to be sitting in. Chicken, that chicken is inbound though. Oh, and he stopped moving. There's a chicken inbound from Team 1. It is in range. Fat Boy also in range. And unfortunately for Team 1's Fat Boy, that Fat Boy is, yeah, it's not going anywhere. Yep, there he goes. ASF will try to catch up to that bomber. Some of them will get taken out. I don't think it's enough. No, the chicken is dead for Team 1 very, very quickly, I might add. This chicken's just taking the ion storm damage. That's never good. Getting crushed by air assist seal force. Yeah, a little bit. Those bombers are really coming in handy here for Team 2. Usually, again, there is the nickname. Everybody knows the nickname of the bombers. They wash butts. It's a more PG way of putting it. We do have that chicken did take a lot of damage from that ion storm unnecessarily. Doesn't necessarily put it out of commission, but not as useful as it once was in terms of survivability. T3 going online here for Lord Fowl. Dual SMDs in this base. I love the backup. I wish it was probably an SMD in this base, but Hey, backup SMD is better than nothing. Fat Boy pushing in on the 3 experimentals up there for Team 1's Yoji. And it looks like that will favor Team 2. Rapid Restoration Field started here for Furio. He does have the regular one, of course, online. Missile and ARAS on board. Getting another bomber online. Again, that's going to be number 3. Is anybody building something crazy nonsense? T3 artillery has been started by De Ritter. And grab started for Klaus. Yeah, nothing too crazy for Team 2. Team 1, Janus, more Fat Boys. Nuke online, and it's almost loaded. So 35 minutes. I feel like there should be enough SMDs online for Team 2 to cover most things. SMDs online and loaded. SMD not online in Klaus's base or in Furio's secondary base. There is one over here, and it is loaded. Actually, 2 of them. So really the only place that could land is the secondary base or Klaus's main base. But we have a couple of units running amok here from Narwhal. Actually, the unfortunate thing happening is a little bit of the Fat Boy fire raining in on the units is actually damaging nearby structures for his teammate. Unless units sit there and really force the Fat Boy to fire close to home, I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, we have a bomber inbound, so that'll help. Looks like there's really nothing nearby, so that should be fine. Nice kill there. Kills everything off and gets a little bit more veterancy, almost to 2 there. We do have Furio's engineer. Furio's chicken, again, who got severely damaged by Team 1's chicken, is killed off before it gets anywhere near Team 1. Nukeable, says Narwhal. Go, says Furfur to Narwhal. Nuke is going to be launched. I'm assuming it's at this position. Oh, bomber inbound. That's going to be a great group of Percy's dead here for Team 2. Look at them all. They're all gone. Nice placement there. What is that? 2-star veterancy? 2-star veterancy for that bomber. Nuke is launching. I love to watch these things fire. There it goes. Is there a kaboom in my future? Or in our future, I should say. And I didn't actually see where the red line is. See the direction it's going. It's going for Klaus's base. Yeah, there's going to be a kaboom unless it drifts a little bit too southward where this SMD is sitting. If Narwhal did map it out, yeah, it looks like he did. Somebody mapped it out. That is not what I wanted. Yeah, it has to really be right here. And it looks like Klaus knows it. He's backing up. And it's going to be Edge Nuke. Lovely placement there from Team 1. And as we say on the channel, kaboom! There it is. Nice grab there. I'll say about 50k mass. Oh, 61. Okay, not that far off. We do see Western side is being assailed. Multiple experimentals on Team 1 side of the map. Not even there anymore. We did see a monkey and a chicken and another chicken. It looks like it's just one chicken now. There's that crab pushing in. Fat Boy staying back. Lovely placement there of the Fat Boy. Not pushing in too far, but staying roughly close by, especially with the crab can fall back. It looks like there was a fight here. Bomber came in and actually, no, that was probably the death of Furfur, to be fair, but Team 2 scooping up immediately. Lovely play there from Ritter. T3 artillery online. Looks like he's going to get a second one here shortly. Needs some more shielding with that. It's like salt needs a little bit more salt. Bomber inbound, and this is the one that's gotten a decent amount of kills so far. 61 of them, in fact. Team 1's lost 3 experimentals on that western side. Not looking good for Team 1's western front. Bomber will land. It will take a significant amount of damage, but honestly, it actually should be fine. Base here for Yoji is up in flames. Airfight will happen once again, but it'll happen over Team 1 side of the map. There's a tiny bit of AA, but really it's inconsequential at this point. It's probably going to be an airlock. Bomber is inbound. The bomber will die, but it will, again, secure air for Team 2. Again, it was a lovely attempt nonetheless, but it wasn't going to make it. He had to wait maybe a couple more seconds. I'd say maybe 10. And that would have been enough time for Team 2 to clear out the ASF and then bomb and maybe kill a section, if not a huge portion of that air grid. That's the Nuke building on Lord's Calm. Fat Boy still pushing on that western front. Team 2 on the eastern side is holding TAC missile battery inbound. Looks like it's going for, I don't know what it's, no, that's a T2 facility, not even a T3. Fat Boy and Fat Boy are dead. I don't know what it can go after. Maybe it is going for that. No, it's going for a line of PD, I guess. I mean, you take out 2 of them, but I feel like that's not really worth those missiles. Anyway, my little 2 cents on that front. Second nuke, halfway loaded. Chicken almost done. Team 1 a little bit behind, I say, in the everything. Eco, their map territory is being depleted very quickly. And Team 2 has a T3 artillery piece, soon to be a second one online. That's not great for Team 1. Team 2 being any more spicy with anything else? Nope, just more bombers. And the bomber, again, has been hit miss, but I think some damage has been pretty well done by those bombers so far. Yoji going after the crab is being ground fired. I think, yeah, Team 2 can't see him. So, that's the wrong button. I do that once in a while. If Yoji was moving, he should be fine, but looks like he's just going to take his lumps. He's not going to kill off the crab in time. There he goes. Team 1 loses another player. It is 3v4 in favor of Team 2 once again at 39 minutes, 30 seconds. And with the death of the air player of Team 1 is not looking good. There is a crab online. Don't know where it's going. Looks like the air is gone, though. I don't know what happened to that, but something took it out. Doesn't look like a bomber. It looks like drop bombers, maybe. Let's see. Is there any, 1,000 wrecks nearby? Oh, yeah, there's a couple of... No, those are the wrecks of the... No, that's not it. I wonder what took them out. Yeah, I don't know. The bomb lands. There's just a lot of wrecks everywhere. Currently sitting on the map in total of reclaim 246,000. So actually nothing too crazy for a match. Another nuke outbound from Team 1's Narwhal. Whereas actually no, apologies, it's not outbound from Team 1. It's outbound from Team 2. Love it to see another nuke on the map. It's going north. It's going to go after the Fat Boy position. That's going to be dead. I don't know if Steel Force has an SMD. It looks like he doesn't. So if it doesn't stop, it will kill off the base of Steel Force. Not good for Team 1's eco by any means. And it is dropping short. Another nuke outbound for Team 1. That Fat Boy actually should be fine. But kaboom, it does weaken the front line for Team 1 significantly, giving Team 2 a little bit more breathing room on that side of the map. Maps killed off 34,000. Mean. Well, I mean, yeah, it is mean, to be fair, but, it's the way of the game. Nuke outbound. It's not going to break the SMD as of it. Second artillery is online, going for a third. There is the shot from this SMD. Takes that out very, very easily. It's going to be reloaded here shortly. But bullied by air all game. Yeah, bullied by the bomber for sure. Here comes another drop. Speaking of bomber, boom, kills off that chunk of air. Grid Team 1 really has no air to speak of at 41 minutes. And that's probably game right there. With no air, no way to really fight back against the bomber here. Tons of AA being deployed, but so many dead engineers. Boom down there in the southeast, and boom down there over here. That's the entire base of Yoji and his secondary base once belonging to Fur essentially wiped out. Yeah, there's really no coming back from this at this point, especially with 2 artillery pieces coming online. Not fun. Here comes a bomber gonna land on some T3 mexes. That's never great. Boom takes out all of those. That's another drop in eco. 1.4 now. The 2.2. Looks like Team 1's efforts are trying to stop the eastern advance, but the air is just oppressing at this point. Suffocating, some might call it. There's going to be another drop going after. That's Lord Fowl's eco. Boom. Maybe an ASF or 2 were caught in the blast from Team 2, but he doesn't care because he's going after this base now for Narwhal. Oh, does he get the bomb drops in time? Yes, he does. Right out the side window. Gonna drop right there. Another Billy Nuke dropping for Lord Fowl. Looks like the bomb will drop on the shielding. Looks like he's going for a T3 artillery. ASFR inbound, but still not enough. That's another bomb that's going to be dropping here for Team 2. Furio making a case for MVP of this game. 112,000 mass. Looks like he's going to scale up to 120 something because he goes off screen for a moment because that's just how the arc worked in that maneuver. Chicken being a little bit more cheeky, but think it won't survive much longer. Another bomb's going to drop on Narwhal's base. How's that shield going? It's barely staying online. He's trying to funnel everything he has into that artillery piece, but I just don't think it's going to work. Second artillery piece started for Steel Force on that eastern side. Where are the artillery pieces for Team? Oh, they're landing on Lord Fowl's base. Oh, it hits the top of the shielding there. Does drop the shielding finally, it took a while to do that. Bomber's going to fly off screen for a moment and get a nice little arc going so he can land at that base and kill it off. The nuke is dead. So that is Team 1's one big item gone, wiped off the board. Gonna take another chunk of that base. The bomber is still alive, 179,000 mass. Where here's some strap bombers from somebody. Don't know who they're from, but they're from somebody, probably from Team 2, I would assume. Oh, yeah, they're over here from Team 2. And Furio losing ASF, but he doesn't care because he has air. Bomber on the edge of the map. Maybe he'll go after that T3 mech over here. That's severely wounded, 179,000 mass killed, maybe more than that. But between the artillery piece and the air for Team 2, unless Team 1 can pull out a miracle out of a hat and probably 3 more after that, considering there's 4 players left in this game, I don't think that's going to happen. Looks like Fatboy will take some damage, but maybe no, it's going to hit right in front of that. Boom, takes out a chunk of Percy's there. Artillery is just really on point with Lord Fowl's base, just giving him no room to operate by any means. Eastern side, it's still holding for Seal Force and Narwhal, but I can see it's holding, but it's not punching in. If it was punching in, this would be a totally different situation. Some units are inbound, but one chicken not going to be enough, unfortunately, to kill a couple of engineers off, but it's just not enough. Team 1 just did not have enough. Soon enough, I think, is the problem. Looks like the main consolidation of Team 1 stuff is up here. Artillery piece still trying to be built by Steel Force. Excuse me, I have the hiccups for a moment. Jeez. Frog caught my throat or something. Third artillery piece online. Soon to be fourth artillery piece online here for Team 2. Even without the bomber. Like, forget the bomber. 4 artillery pieces is a lot. And he is spamming those up very quickly. Always really building is just engineers for reclaim and the artillery. And yeah, he's building a couple of T3 units stuff, but for the most part, it's all been driven there. Lord Fowl is defeated by Raider either by artillery or by units. I would assume just artillery. It is now 4v2 in favor of Team 2, 2-1 advantage. And with that, just like I said, I don't think it's going to be. I mean, Team 1 has been losing stuff pretty steadily. I feel like Team 2 might end it with a bomber strike. Another nuke outbound. It's from Team 2. Does Team 1 have an SMD or a SMD? They have one over here. It is loaded, so that is something. But now we have, is that 5? No, you have 5 artillery pieces firing? Looks like 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they're just firing fast enough to make it look like there's a lot of them. Nuke lands over here. Kaboom, kills off more stuff, but that one doesn't really matter. The artillery is specifically targeting, well, where Seal Force is standing. That's never fun. P-Gen right there. That's not good. There goes Seal Force. And there goes Narwhal right up to that. He actually does die to that P-Gen death, or P-Gen explosion. But Team 2 wins the game. 46 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. MVP for me. I think the Bombers, they really played a huge role. That air was very, very important to Team 2's win. So I think I'll give it to Furio for being the MVP. Again, you take the bombers out. Yes, we eventually will see the artillery from Team 2's DeRitter, but the amount of economic damage, the amount of military damage that those bombers inflicted really helped keep back Team 1 for a while. And then that push over the western side, taking out this base, killing off Yoji, and then it was just a slow erosion after that. But again, it is between Furio and DeRitter, but I do think Furio gets it for me. So let me know down in the comments if you agree or not. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. And as always, thank you. Please like the video, subscribe, share, comment, all those sorts of YouTube things that YouTube loves to see. And I will see all of you in the next one.